Welcome to the Explosive Street Podcast with Jared Pitney. On today's episode, I have Austin Barnard. Austin is killing me. Austin has trained with me. Jeez. We didn't even get started.
I was just expecting
All right. Anyway, Austin's trained me from a high school, college, and at the professional level. Austin is a kicker punter for the Tennessee Titans. We're just going to talk about his process of training through the gym and how it's helped him with his kicking. So anyway, here we go with Austin. Austin, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We've had a couple screw ups on our intros,
We have.
but we're just trying to make it fun.
It's a work in progress.
Yep. Geez. Hey, do you know what you ran when you first came to the gym? Do you remember?
Am I 40?
Yeah, you know.
Oh gosh. If I had to guess, it had to have been a 5'2", 5'3", something along those lines. I remember when I first came to you, I was the scrawniest little kid that just played soccer.
Yeah, that's all you did?
That's all I ever did before I came to you.
I didn't.
'Cause
When you started coming to me, when, a sophomore, high school?
Sophomore year, it was my summer going into my sophomore year, because I was trying to play football, and I knew that, my physique at that time was not going to let me play football. Because at soccer, you don't have to be strong. I mean, let me phrase that. At soccer, when I was young, you didn't have to be strong at all.
Yes, more of a skill set.
Times have changed, but
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much just like being fit and being able to kick.
Yeah.
And then I had to transition that into football.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I knew I needed some muscle on me if I wanted to continue to play football.
What you started, was that right, sophomore year?
Yeah.
2011. How did we test your 40-yard dash back then? Do you remember?
I don't think you had the lasers at that time.
No, because I see a 4.97. I got
That was the first one?
Yeah, I've got your original folder here for December. It don't even really. It's so old. December of 2011.
Holy cow.
That's been a while ago.
That was a long time ago. There's no way that was lasers. It had to have been hand timed. I bet you were standing. Yeah. Actually, I do remember that. At your old gym, you were sitting in the chair behind us, and I'm pretty sure you hand clocked us.
Was that from the? Oh, because we tested outside.
Yeah, it was in the parking lot back on the backside where those big, huge trailers were.
Yeah. So yeah, we had set the lasers up and try to run it and clock it that way. Do you remember?
I think so. Yeah, I just know you didn't have that, because now you have that pad you stick your hand on. We didn't have that.
Yeah. Now it's really a lot tougher to get a better time on.
It makes you look worse.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that laser is much harder, especially the way we had it with where you got the infrared start.
Oh yeah, I had to be, I don't even know, 0.2 of a second difference.
Yeah, but we fought
Huge.
I don't know when we started testing, because eventually you got a 4.9. Then later on down, when the dates changed colors, you started off at a 5.01. But then eventually you got down. What's your best time? Do you know?
I believe I ran a 4.67 or 4.68 my senior year of high school.
Yep, 4.69 actually.
So close.
That's pretty good. But we started up. You're probably one of the first people to start at a 5 flat or a 4 to get down to a 4.6. So you had.
Maybe. Besides my brother.
Your brother got pretty fast too. Yeah,
My brother sped past me.
Yeah, but that's pretty funny, because that's another sibling competition, just like Cody, Kyle, and
Oh yeah.
and Colton.
Yeah, because he saw me, because I started working out my sophomore year, and he was a senior, and he saw how I was getting fast and strong, and he was like, dang, man, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, even if you don't play a sport, it's still fun to be strong and fast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was still playing soccer, and then he was going to play intramurals in college, so he just wanted to, first of all, he wanted to beat me.
Yeah, that's all that matters. As long as you beat your brother, it don't matter.
Yeah, as long as you get the bragging rights, who cares?
Yeah, that's right.
But
so how did you hear about the gym? What kind of brought you to Explosive?
what brought me to the gym?
Do you remember?
Question, man. Not so long ago.
Do you have any friends that was coming, or I think your dad called me or something.
That's what I think. My parents found out.
Was your dad always trying to help you get to the next level, or do something to help you, or kind of?
I think he knew I needed like, I guess you could call it help in the area of shin conditioning. 'Cause I had probably lifted weights a handful of times before I started working out at Explosive. And so I had no idea what to do. I had no idea anything about form. And my dad, I want to say it was my dad, probably heard about Explosive from a friend, or I don't even know, to be honest with you. It was freaking 8 years ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out these numbers. You know what your first vertical jump was?
Do I want to know? A 20?
25. It's not bad.
It's not terrible.
Not for a high school sophomore.
Well, it's also, you gotta think I was weighing probably 170 pounds.
What's the highest you got to, your vertical?
I think we got to 36.
36, so 11 inches over time. What do you think
That's a lot.
as your vertical jump went up, do you know if your kicking got better? How do you think the vertical translated to the kick power?
Yeah, I think I think what it was. It was a combination of the vert, even my broad jump, and we were doing those trap bar deadlifts. I still remember those.
Yeah, because you started before we even started doing dumbbell jumps.
Yeah, we were doing. I think at the first time I got to you, we were starting to do the box jumps where you're like standing on a box and you kind of jump down. And
Depth jumps. Yeah,
depth jumps. There you go. That's what we were kind of focused on. We didn't do dumbbell jumps. But yeah, I mean, I remember I couldn't even touch the rim on a basketball court, and then I could start actually almost dunking. But I mean, even that, just the quick tension for swinging your leg through.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever realized it until years later, though.
Yeah. So your 25-inch vertical got up to a 36-inch vertical. Your first bench max was 155.
Yeah. And that was good for me that day.
It's not bad for high school sophomore. I've had some high school juniors come in and they're weighing about 220. Put 135 on for them to warm up. They get stapled to the bench.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Shoot, I thought that was bad. Pretty sure I had toothpicks back then.
Yeah, but you've been here for a while. Geez, now it's 2018, 2011, 7 years.
Yeah. I'm saying it's a long time. I don't remember what we did. I can't remember some stuff we did back then.
But it's as you leave and you come back, things are changing. Especially my thought process on the training and things like that of how I want to attack different things. It's just not, it's just kind of evolved. It's not I'm not kind of like a coach. It's kind of, I've been doing this 20 years.
Yeah.
If you don't change, it would be pretty bad if the iPhone's 20 years old and never changed.
You're not kidding. I know a lot of the biggest thing to me was through high school, and because I obviously, I was trying to just move a little bit more weight at that time.
You just want to get stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
We went really focused on a lot of anything specific, and I think when kids start out too early, they want to. I want to do this for softball. I want to do this for baseball. And as far as you're concerned, and with everybody that comes here, you can't be specific until you go. You got to be general. You can't go from the first grade to the fifth grade.
Yeah.
So
you got to start somewhere.
Everybody, you got to build a base with these athletes, and you've got to train them to where you've got to go general, directed. Then you go specific training.
Yeah.
But you can't go specific until you get the general stuff. And too many people want to. Hey, I want to be sport specific. The best way to be sport specific is your sport itself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else you do outside of your sport is developing a physical quality to help you with your sport. Now, you're a punter kicker.
Yeah.
That's a highly technical focused skill. You've got to really work on your drops, and not only that, you got to catch the ball before you can even drop it. And the speed of the snap from high school to college is big, right?
You're not kidding. Well, from high school to college, for me, it wasn't that big because my high school long snapper was Trevor, and I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah, he went to the University of Memphis to snap.
Yeah, he snapped at Memphis. So I guess I would say that was kind of the same for me. But the difference between college and the NFL is uncanny. I never even expected how much of a difference it was. I mean, my long snapper at the Titans is,
too fast almost, right?
Yes. I mean, I remember I probably dropped 3 snaps in preseason, or not the games, but training camp. But just trying to read his snap is just, that alone is hard enough.
Yeah, it's do they get the laces up every time to you, or does he got the spin rate down on the ball to where the laces are up when you catch it, or do you have to adjust the ball still?
He has the laces out on field goal snaps almost every single time. I would say 99% of the time. Punt snaps, no, not really. I wouldn't. I don't know. To be honest with you, it happens so fast. I don't even pay that close attention. I just kind of go off feel. But I would say that he's not. The laces aren't up every time, but they're pretty close. Because I remember if we hit a pooch punt, like flip flop, so where the ball's like straight up and down in your hand. A lot of times, like my first initial movement when I catch the ball is to drop that front nose and then hold it and then swing up. But a lot of times when I do that, I'm kicking straight laces, which means that he has to have the ball laces down, so that when I do this, I'm hitting straight laces. And that was pretty consistent for a while. So,
what's the biggest difference between punting for college and punting in the NFL?
One of the biggest differences for me was just the expectation every single day.
Yeah, if they want it out on the 17-yard line, between the numbers and the hash, you better hit that. It's almost like a golf shot at that level, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like my coach in college would be like, "Hey, Austin, we want the ball outside the numbers," and then like when we go on the field, like he's gonna tell me, "Hey, we're punting left," or "Hey, we're punting right." Where in the NFL, it's like you can tell me where you want to go, but if you're gonna tell me, you're gonna get it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no leeway. I mean, I could hit a ball down the middle of the field in college, and as long as it was 45-4-5, I would be fine. But if you're in the NFL, if you hit a 45-4-5 down the middle of the field, depending upon who you're playing, if you're playing Tyreek Hill or something like that, you can count your blessings because that thing's coming back at you.
So that's pretty. That was one of the biggest things that stuck out in my mind is how precise they want that ball placement. And we're sitting here just average people watching NFL. We don't realize it looks like chaos on the field to a normal person.
Yeah.
But if you really, it's organized chaos.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you want that ball out. If it's not out where they need it out, that returner knows you or has studied enough to know your punt team to where he's not going to have to break it and bring it back on you, right?
There's so much prep that goes into it. I mean, we analyze down to the T, like every single player. We know what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and I guarantee the returner, especially good returners, are going to do the same thing for punters. Like, hey, this guy naturally his ball's going to turn over a little bit more to the right, probably 5 yards outside the numbers. He's like, if you catch it and you have 10 yards, you can break this gunner down. I'm sure they're kind of analyzing in that fashion. But I just remember kind of going back to what you just said a minute ago. Our punter that's also with the Titans, Brett Kern, I remember the first week I saw him punt, and I mean, no joke, it was like a machine. It was like a judge machine. It was just perfect spiral, right where he wanted it. I mean, he was hitting 3 yards right on the inside of the out of bounds line, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I never expected somebody to be able to do that well. And then after a while, I mean, I felt like once like we got into the preseason, I felt like I was able to do that too, which is kind of why I'm still here.
Yeah, but you learned a lot. Did you learn a lot from him, or how did the pressure help you? Because there's a lot of pressure when you get to league.
It's a lot of pressure. I felt more pressure during rookie minicamp, just for the simple fact that I was the only punter there. I knew that was kind of an iffy moment, meaning I know I was on contract, but I could still get fired if I didn't do well. So I was under a lot of pressure then. But I would say once the team got together and once I was with Brett and Ryan and Bo, I didn't feel too much pressure. It was more like pressure on myself because I'm hard on myself because I want to do well. I didn't feel a lot of pressure from everybody else because, first of all, I don't let a lot of things get to me. I don't think. I kind of just handle my own. And if I don't do good, I know that I didn't do good, so I'm going to get on myself. But I mean, I don't know. Pressure's everywhere. I got that in college too. So
yeah. What about the running backs cussing you out if you messed up a punt?
No, the running backs didn't. I had a linebacker and a safety one time. Didn't cuss me out, but they just
let you know that they know you were...
firmly told me. It was actually on a kickoff. I hit it down we're supposed to go outside the right numbers, and I hit down straight on the hash. And we got the returner down at like the 22, I believe. And I'm like coming off the field, and the linebacker walks over to me. He goes, "You better get the freaking ball outside the numbers next time." And it's just like, I mean,
yeah,
you're not. I mean, you better do that. I mean, he's a 5-year vet, well respected at the position.
And so that precision of the punt's a lot more than what we're realizing what it is on TV. If they're like, why they do that? There's a game plan behind what's going on.
Oh yeah, I mean our whole strategy is based around the ball being in a certain location, and if it's not there, you're messing everybody up.
What would you tell other punters or other kickers out there? Like if you can go back and tell young Austin in high school, what would you tell yourself about kicking at that point? You know, would you go back and change anything?
I can say I feel like I handled myself pretty well when I was in high school and college.
Yeah, because you were always mature. You were a little bit more mature than some of the kids in here. Because some of these kids, you don't know what the freak they're thinking.
Yeah, I would agree. I guess the one thing that I don't know that I would change, but just I wish I knew better going in was like the whole recruiting process.
Yeah. Okay. Let's since we're there, why not? How did you get into football? Because you said you played soccer first.
Played soccer.
How'd you get into football? Then once you got into football, let's talk about the recruiting.
Okay. So when I was actually grew up playing soccer. My brother played soccer. That was the main reason. But then I got into football because my dad was starting to build a house for a guy named Chris Hansen, which is now the AD for Trinity. And my dad was like, "Hey, he used to punt in the NFL. I think it'd be a good idea if you tried and trained with him, you know, because you have a strong leg when you're playing soccer." And I was like, I kind of fought him for about a week or two, and then I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. Mm-hmm. So I started training with Chris, and our head coach at my high school at Whitewater came up to me when we were training, and he was like, "Hey, Austin, we just lost our kicker last year. We have somebody, but we think you're really good. We'd love for you to come out."
See, yeah, I think now I can remember. I think because I was helping Hanson out too with Trinity.
That's what it was.
And he was also training with me a little bit at the time too. I guess placing some fillers out to see if I knew anything or not.
Yes, that sounds right. I think Chris did send me to you.
Yeah, I think that's now okay.
Yeah, that sounds right because all of his guys were coming to explosive. So yeah, that makes sense. That's why he came here.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember either. That's so long ago.
Yeah, 2011. Heck, I can't remember what I did yesterday.
I know, essentially. But yeah, so I started kicking.
And so he was a punter for he was actually a Pro Bowler at one time.
Yes, Pro Bowler when he was in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Because I think he played in the NFL for 11 years.
Yeah, 11 years. Yeah, he said he's almost been out of the league now more than he's been in it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he's been in the league for 10, 11 years.
I know.
Punting for the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, he's still well known. I think he still has people send him cards and stuff, sign autographs and everything, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so when I started kicking in high school, I started my first year kicking field goals. I didn't even punt until my junior year, which is crazy.
Really?
But anyway.
that goes kind of back to what we were saying, you know, like with the general, specific, and directed training. Is like you were not grown up. You didn't grow up a football player.
No.
You did all these other things.
Yeah.
Which led to something else.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily have to go in, hey, I want to be a baseball player. If you're working on baseball specific stuff all the time, you're just in that one avenue, and you're going to have other things and other weaknesses that hold you back. So the biggest thing for kids that are 10 years old or younger, they need to play a multitude of sports, basketball, soccer. Just don't put your focus in or put all your eggs in one basket.
Oh yeah, I never expected to play football. Like if you would ask me when I was a freshman in high school if I was ever going to play football, I would literally tell you that's a joke. I mean,
yeah. And so you started punting as a high school junior.
Started punting as a high school junior.
Now you're at the highest level there is.
I know, and it happened like just so quick. I mean, I was fortunate enough. Not only is Chris a good coach, but I think I had somewhat of a natural ability from playing soccer or
you played basketball too.
Played basketball, played soccer. Yeah.
How many sports did you play? Basketball, soccer, anything else? You ever play baseball?
Never played baseball. I bowled a little bit.
That's real good, huh?
Yeah. That doesn't mean anything. No, but yeah. But I mean, so I started training with Chris and went to my first camp. So I was a junior. My junior was the first year I started punting, and that summer going into that year, I went to my first Cole's kicking camp, and I won. Like I beat 200 other kids. I mean, it was like shocking. It was like shocking to me because I mean there was some other guy. There was a guy there who was committing to Auburn. I mean, there's a bunch of good guys there, and I won, so I was like, man, I might have a future in this. So I kind of just kept training and focusing on that, and had a lot of help, I guess you could say, from Coles and Chris and Jared.
Yeah.
but yeah, that kind of helped me through high school at least.
The once you did that, what was the recruiting process like getting to from high school to college? Do you remember that? Because if you're a junior, that's pretty much a late start.
Yeah, I would say at the time that I was going through recruiting, junior year was your prime year, meaning like that's when you were going to get a lot of interest if you were a good player. So I would say my recruiting basically started because of that Coles camp and how well I did, and then I went to a national camp and did really well, so that kind of helped too. But I was like, I mean, this is the one thing that I would take back. Like I was on a mailing address for a bunch of big schools, Miami, Alabama, Georgia, you know, whatever, all the big schools, but I was only on the mailing list. And at the time I thought that was like a big deal, you know, because I'm getting a letter from so-and-so. But now that I know it, it's like, it's just a standard thing. I guarantee they have like thousands of kids on their mailing list and doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What really means something is when a coach actually goes out of his way to talk to you, which is why I chose Miami. Because when I went down to visit, on an unofficial visit, our head coach at the time, Al Golden, invited me and my family into his office, sat us down on the couch and was like, look, we don't have a punter. We really want you. And if you come in and win the job, we're going to put you on scholarship. And, you know, I really respected that. It showed that he actually wanted me. It wasn't just like me thinking I could play that level. To me, it was like a sign of, hey, you are good enough to play that level.
Yeah, and what people don't know, it's very rare that a kicker, punter, or even a snapper comes out of high school, the specialist, and just gets a scholarship. You know, Stephen Gostowski for the Patriots.
Yeah.
He still kicks, and he was the kicker at Memphis when I was there.
Yeah, he walked on too, I believe.
He was a walk-on at Memphis. He was a baseball player.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a pitcher.
Yeah.
And he didn't care about football either, because he grew up playing hockey and soccer and baseball.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of guys I know that are actually like that. I mean, the punter right now for the Houston Texans, he punted at the University of Tennessee, Trevor Daniel. He was a walk-on at Tennessee for 3 years. And I mean, he started for 2, and he's now, he won the job this year over Shane Leckler. I mean, it's just crazy because, I mean, I don't know that he ever expected to have a future in the NFL. Yeah. And now he has that opportunity.
Yeah, Gostowski, all he cared about was baseball. He wanted to pitch, and he would bring baseballs to the practice field and throw them at the goalpost. Coach West would cuss him out. Boy, he ain't supposed to have a baseball on the football field, boy.
That's a typical kicker.
And so he didn't care about it the whole time, pretty much the first 2 years at Memphis, because he was. I'm playing baseball. I don't care about this football stuff. And we'd set up our helmets on the practice field, 25 yards away, and we'd have a football, and we'd set his helmet and someone else's helmet and 2 other helmets, and we'd try to almost bowl and throw the football and knock the helmet over. Whoever knocked both helmets, whatever team knocked both helmets over was the team. We just kind of screw it off and play games.
Yeah. We used to have a frisbee out of practice at Sanford sometimes.
Yeah, they offensive linemen and linebackers, everybody hates us because I was a long snapper at Memphis, and so I got to hang out with Gostowski and play all the kicker games.
Yeah, you get a little hell for it sometimes, but
as long as you do your job, it's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can perform on game day and then you kind of joke around throughout the week a little bit, no one's really going to say anything. They're just going to be a little jealous.
Yeah, because they want to do what you do. Basically, they like their job, but they want to be able to hang out and chill like we did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're getting the same. I mean, we're basically getting the same free education once you're on scholarship, and they say we do less work, which is, I mean, it's true, but it's a little bit more. It's different. Like we have more pressure.
It's more skill work too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you just can't fry your nervous system. Like skill. You got to take those breaks, especially because if you ingrain a bad motor pattern in you. You're going to be off, and you can't be off now. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, even a lot of people don't know, but it's kind of like a tennis player. Like you can, like tennis elbow, like kicking, you can like kick your leg out if you kick too much. So it's like you can't just go for 2.5 hours. It's more about having quality reps, especially I've learned that through the NFL. I mean, you got to be hitting 90 to 95% turnover balls, and if you're not hitting that, you had a bad day.
Hey, look, just leave the door open, okay? Y'all come in though. Hey, don't shut it. Just leave it open because it's gonna keep beeping. So, yeah, people starting to come into the gym now. But anyway, we're still gonna do this. I just lost my train of thought because of that. But
We're talking about hitting 90 to 95% turnovers in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's the expectation.
Okay, yeah, because you can't. It's just not go kick, kick, kick.
No. I mean, we'll be. I'm trying to think. If we had a 6-day week practice, I would punt twice and possibly kick field goals twice.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of pushing it. It's really about saving, like, especially in the NFL, you're going for 17 weeks. You know, if you end up making the roster. So, I mean, it's a long season, especially, and then you make postseason, you're adding another couple of games to that.
Mm-hmm.
So they want you to be able to, like, save your leg. I mean, it gets long.
Yeah, and I think that's what they don't realize is because you're only using basically one body part to perform the action, to where they're using more of their whole body.
Pretty much. I mean, it's kind of like exhausting the same muscle. But I mean, that's kind of the point of playing in high school or college. Your body develops in a way that lets you be able to withstand more and more. Because I remember when we got our special teams coach changed in college when I was at Sanford, and when the new guy came in when I was a junior, man, he kicked the crap out of us. I mean, it was like, I'd hit 20 kickoffs, then I'd turn around and hit 40 punts, then I'd turn around and hit 20 more punts later, and I was just dead. And like, my leg couldn't move. But I can say, like, yes, that sucked, but that kind of helped me to where I can, you know, I could go 5 days a week and I'd be okay now if I had to. I mean, obviously I don't want to, but.
Yeah, so your volume of kicking dropped a lot when you got to Tennessee, right?
Absolutely. I was expecting, especially being a rookie, I was expecting to kick a ton, to be honest with you. And I was kind of prepping for that. Throughout my training, I was, you know, kicking twice, maybe 3 times a week, kind of just focused on fundamental type stuff rather than reps.
So when you got to the NFL, you didn't really think, you thought you was going to be kicking a lot more.
Yes.
And it's actually a lot less than you think, but more precise.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I kicked less in the NFL than I kicked in college, significantly. The main difference is that in college I'd go out there and you want to get in a rhythm, you want to hit some good balls.
Mm-hmm.
But in the NFL, I mean, it's not like there is no coming out there and getting in a rhythm, hitting good balls. You're going to be out there. You're going to be like hitting perfect balls. I mean, you just can't. You got to be mentally ready. You got to be physically ready. You just got to be at the top of your game every single day.
Yeah. What was the process like going from college to NFL? You were actually on some pretty high-end watch lists. Were you up for some awards in college?
Yeah, I was. I was 3rd team All-American for FCS, and I won a couple of, like, not that this matters for sports, but scholastic awards. But yeah, I mean, I had Draft Diamonds interview me for, like, draft prep. I'm trying to think. There was one that you told me about. I was ranked, I don't even remember. Draft Scout, was that right?
Yeah, draftscout.com. And that's been pretty accurate as far as, like, when Will Lutz made the league.
Yeah.
Like when you got there, I think y'all's numbers, and when I was telling you the numbers, like on Draft Scout and stuff like that, you were telling me the top punters and stuff.
Yeah.
And you were like, if number 1, this guy is probably this guy. If it's number 2, it's probably this guy. And you were spot on. And I think the draftscout.com was.
It's close.
Yeah.
I would say it was off a little bit because I think I don't remember what I was. If I was 12 or 13, I was somewhere in the top 15 when and you know, their top 4 guys ended up making the NFL, and then you have your kind of stragglers like me and a couple other guys that were on the lower on the list and made it. But even like Will Lutz, like I don't think Will was really on that, and he made it.
Yeah, and speaking of Will Lutz is, still kicks for the Saints.
Yeah.
He's a kicker.
Yeah.
He was a walk-on at Georgia State.
Yeah.
Georgia State was an FCS school at that time too.
Yeah, and he actually even took over the punting duties his senior year.
Yeah, he went from a walk-on to being the starting kicker and starting punter for Georgia State.
Yeah, which actually helped them in the long run because I guarantee you, I know especially me, I don't know that the Titans would have taken me early on if I couldn't kick field goals. Not that I really did it, that well because I was mainly a punter. But I guarantee you, Will being able to punt helped him get to Baltimore, and then doing well at Baltimore helped him get to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
And New Orleans doing pretty good this year.
They're doing very good. Yeah, they got a shot at the Super Bowl this year, I think. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, but that's kind of cool. So Will was a walk-on, you were a walk-on, and Gostowski was a walk-on.
Yeah. I would say a lot of the guys that ended up playing in the NFL either went to small schools or big schools and walked on, or whatever. It's just because you earn a scholarship doesn't mean you're making it professionally.
Yeah, I think sometimes people, I guess the better people like you kind of got a chip on your shoulder because you got to earn everything.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes with the people that are higher or they already had the scholarship, they feel like,
You should be complacent.
yeah.
Because it's like, I already have what I need. Then at that point, once you get the scholarship, I mean, the next thing for you is you're working for the opportunity to play professionally.
Yeah.
There's nothing past that where I was, me, Will, Gostowski, like we were working our butt off to get a scholarship, and then we're like, why are we stopping what we're already doing? Just keep going. We're just like, at least have a shot at professionally.
Yeah, the another kicker that's been through here is Jameson Vest.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Yeah, he was on the Luke Rosa watch list.
I saw that, yeah.
And the thing about Jameson did get a scholarship out of high school to go kick for Toledo.
Yeah.
But Jameson's always had a different mentality. He's always had to work and wanted to work, and he almost sometimes overworks. So he gave me a phone call a couple of weeks ago. Jared, what can I do? I'm kind of getting drained around here. I think I said, Jameson, like that's what I was telling you this past summer, at y'all's level, you only got so much water in your glass.
Oh yeah. Especially if you're getting drained, believe me, there was times when I was in college I got a little drained, just because you get a little burnout. But if you're getting drained in college and you want to play in the NFL for 10 years, then you got a long time ahead of you.
Yeah. And so I think that's the whole point is like, in high school, you can actually go and do more and more. Yeah. But as you go up in the rankings from high school to college to professional, you actually have to back off your skill set a little bit, right?
Yeah, because it's kind of like you want to push it early on. Maybe I think it's a lot of not knowing, and then once you get to those higher levels of, you're playing at Toledo, like one of those top colleges, or trying to make it in the NFL. It's not about, how much can I do? It's more about how well can I do this. Even now, like when I go out to kick, I'm trying to hit probably 30 to 40. If I'm really feeling it, I'll hit 50 balls. But it's like I'm not focused on just getting to 100. I'm focused on I want my ball to be perfectly where I want it every single time for 30 reps.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like we do our jumps or our training here. We're not coming in and doing like 5, 6, 3 on jumps. We're coming in breaking a record, and if we're not breaking a record, we're moving on. Mm-hmm. You're not sitting there, hey, I'm gonna do precisely 40 balls X number of times per week.
Yeah.
You gotta base it off you feel, because your body changes almost on a daily basis, right?
Absolutely. You can get more out of yourself some days than others. I feel like that's kind of just natural. But I think a lot of it too is mentally.
Yeah.
At least for kicking.
But you were not expected to stay in the Titans, were you?
No. When they came to work me out at Stanford, they took me out to lunch, and the special teams coaches were both like, hey, we're looking for somebody to come in that we can help develop and hopefully get on another team.
So they were looking to use you for a camp leg and put you on another team, right?
Pretty much. That's how I perceived it. And I kind of went in there, somewhat with that mindset. I never went in the mindset that I was going to win the job, to be honest with you. I kind of went in the mindset that I wanted to learn as much as I could. Because Brett had been in the NFL for 10 years, and he was a Pro Bowler the year before. So, he's one of the best in the world. So it was like one of the best guys to learn from. So I kind of went in with that mindset. And then, I did really well. I learned a lot from Brett. I learned a lot from our special teams coaches. And I kind of just kept my head on straight during preseason and did really well. And obviously I turned some heads.
Yeah, that is really good. We're going to talk about the preseason in just a second. Right now, I've got some of my people starting to roll in. Ansley, they can go ahead and get started. You can give them their folders. If they don't have their folders written in, I'll write them. They just come up here, and I'll do it right here. So if guys, y'all get started. So let's talk about preseason one. How do you prepare for a week? And do you prepare differently now that you're in the NFL than you did when you were in college?
Yes.
Let's talk about what a typical week's like.
Typical week, like a game week.
Yeah, game week.
So we're definitely gonna spend a lot more time, studying your opponent. Meaning, we would do, I don't know, I'm gonna call them like charting sessions, however you want to put it, on the other team, and to know what their tendencies are, where their punter's gonna punt the ball, where their kicker's gonna kick the ball, kickoffs, hang times to let us know if we have the opportunity to return it and things like that. But then we do a lot our special teams meetings are very specific, oriented around who their best players are. Because a lot of teams will have 2 or 3 guys that are known to be special teams guys, and kind of what their tendencies are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. Whether they, fit up, they're strong guys, or whether they're going to run you by the returner, things like that. So it's a lot more prep, I would say. And then as far as practice and maintaining your body, it's all about planning your week out so that you're fresh on game day. So I'm trying to think. We would kick. I'd kick twice during a week that we'd have a game, and I would try to make sure that I would have at least, I think I'd have 2 days off before the actual game day. But it was really, that week of practice, not only am I trying to do really well, for myself, for the team, things like that, but it's really about, preparing myself mentally for what to expect. Because you kind of have a game plan going into that week, and being able to execute that so that you have a little bit more confidence going into the game. But I don't know, I would say I take care of my body a lot better now than I did when I was in college.
There's a lot more pressure going on, so you got to be a lot more conscious. You just can't go out there and party and stuff.
No, I never did that. I was never that type of person. But yeah, I was always the type of person in college that was like, hey,
you already had the skill, so
yeah, I already had the skill, and my body's young and fresh. I could just go out there, jog down and back, and I can start kicking. That'd be fine. Which I still somewhat have a mindset. I personally don't really believe in stretching too much. It's not really my thing. But I do a lot more dynamic movements. I do a lot more warming up. So I'll roll out. We have the Theraguns or massage guns that you can use on your legs and stuff like that to help warm up. But just kind of, you just got to realize when you're in the NFL, your body is what's paying you ultimately. So you have to take care of it. Where in college, it's kind of it's a free for all. Who cares?
Yeah, but again, it's still you're getting older. These kids will make fun of me for warming up. I told Mike Hitman this the other day. I said, it takes us longer to warm up than it does to work out.
Yeah, that's true. I know our specialists.
Because you got to warm up, right? Especially in the league.
Oh yeah. Our warm up alone with our strength coach is at least 10 minutes. When I say that, it's not just sit there stretching for 10 minutes, but it's dynamic movements, jogging, butt kicks, stuff like that. But you do that for 10 minutes, and then our kicker and punter will go and do banded work, rolling out, everything before they even kick. So their warm up before they even touch a ball is probably 30 minutes, and then they start warming up, kick a ball for 15, 20 minutes, and then they're going right into team period, and then you're done. But it's more of once you get to that point, you got to make sure your body's ready to go, because it's going, you got to be at 100%.
Yeah.
There's no 90%.
Yeah, because 90% gets you fired real quick.
Oh yeah. You'll walk up the field and be like, hey, we'll see you never.
Yeah. What was it like when you, your first kick was it Lambeau Field, Green Bay?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was insane. It was sold out.
They sold out Lambeau for a preseason game?
Oh yeah, they sell it every game, I'm pretty sure. To be fair, there's not a lot to do up there in Green Bay. There's actually the town, but I can't think of it.
Was it even cold? Because this is early, August?
This was first week of August, so it was August, 7th or something like that. Mm-hmm. But no, it wasn't cold. It was perfect. When I say perfect, it was perfect. 65 degrees, no wind, beautiful stadium, completely packed, and the fans are great. I've heard some teams have some fans that are just gonna rip you on the sidelines, but these guys were. It was great. It was a great.
The fans are pretty good, man.
Yeah, and they're incredible. But I just remember when I went out there to hit that first punt, it was I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. But I got out there and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on everything I did since I was in high school. And I got out there. I mean, I think we were I don't even know, we're on the 40-yard line. So it's like kind of one of those fringe points where you're not gonna hit a flip flop or a pooch punt like a short field.
And you can't really hit
but
a ball.
you can't crank a huge 65-yard punt.
But like when you came home for the summer, you was telling me, Austin, all they cared about just get it past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, because I mean that was partially because of they brought me in kind of like Jared said earlier just for like a camp leg, but yeah, I mean my head coach literally told me he goes I'm not really gonna get mad at you as long as you get past the line of scrimmage. So I didn't have a lot of that kind of helped. I would say it didn't give me a lot of pressure.
Did you think about that at that moment?
At that moment, no. I would say that when I was traveling to the game, that did come to my mind. So it kind of like helped me go at ease. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know. I guess like I had confidence when I walked out there.
Because you've already done it by that time. Thousands of kicks.
Oh yeah. Plus, I mean, especially in preseason alone, when you're out there, because I'm trying to think about it, I went in the third quarter. So by the time you're in the third quarter of a preseason game, everybody that's out there is fresh out of college too. So if they're the same age as you, you would have played against them. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was just like, this is just another punt. I mean, this is like kind of like being back at Stanford, just with, 20 times as more fans.
And just a different logo on your chest.
Yeah, pretty much. You represent a little bit more. It means a little bit more to everybody else. It means a little bit more to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really just the same thing, just a different jersey. So, I don't know. I felt like I was very confident when I went out there.
Yeah. What do you think helped with the confidence the most? Just a repetition of doing it and being able to perform well at practice. Your practices have got to be a lot more serious at the professional level than it does at the collegiate level, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we probably hit 10 to 12 punts in a pro practice, like with team. And I mean, you really have to be hitting solid punts. Because not only are a lot of times we're covering, so you want to be able to give the team a good look, but you want to get the returner reps. We're in college. I mean, there's times where, to be honest with you, there's times when I'd go out in college and I hit a 35-yard punt, and it was like, okay, we're going to move on to the next one.
Yeah. I
mean, you kind of have to have that mindset in pros, but I mean, you don't want to hit 35-yard punts.
Now, at the professional level, do they use the jugs gun a lot for the returners, or the returners like to catch live balls, like off of foot?
It's a little bit of both. I would say they use the jug a lot just because they don't want to kick us out. But any time that we're kicking, the returners want to catch balls because it's different.
Yeah.
The spin's going to be a little different. The jugs is so consistent that's unrealistic. Because no punter, I don't care how good you are, is never going to be an exact jugs machine.
Yeah.
So it's different. Then you have lefties and righties. Spin's different. The way the ball flies, how the wind affects it. Luckily we have probably one of the best returners in the league in Adori, and I don't know.
But yeah, people don't realize that like sometimes teams will take a left-footed punter because of the spin of the ball is different to throw off the returner.
Yeah, that's what Bill Belichick from the Patriots. That's all he'll do. He doesn't want right-footed punters. He only wants left-footed punters. That's why he went from Chris to Zoltan Mesko, which is a lefty, to Ryan Allen, which is now a lefty. And then I think Ryan's contract's up at the end of this year, so we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
But they're always wanting a lefty.
Yeah, because most people, you're righty.
I'm a righty.
And most people are kicking and catching, or most people returners are catching right-footed punters all week.
Oh yeah.
What's the jugs going to do? Can the jugs going to go left-footed?
Yeah, we actually have, at the time, we have 4 sets of jugs. We have a right-footed, a left-footed, a kickoff, which is basically like a flip-flop pooch punt, and then a spare, just in case one of them goes out. So we do have a left-footed jugs, but even then, like, if you don't have a left-footed punter on roster and you're just using the jugs, I guarantee it's not going to be the same as Ryan Allen's punt or Corey Bajorgas at
again, because it's coming off the foot.
Yeah, it's different. And there's only, I don't even know, if there's 32 teams in the NFL, I guarantee there's probably only 3 or 4 guys that are lefties.
Did you, once you got to the league, did you realize there was different punts? Did you learn how to drop the ball differently based off of a different situation or a different style of kicks as far as punting?
Yeah, we
like sometimes you just see them turn the ball upside, like straight up and down.
Yeah, well, I was talking about that. That's like a pooch punt. That's flip flop. So I do those. I did those when I was in college.
What's the point of that? Get the ball to stop and come back?
Yeah, you kind of want it. It's kind of to check. So it's short field punts because it's not going to travel as far as a spiral.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it hits the ground, it's supposed to. Ultimately, if you hit it perfectly, it's going to check up.
Kind of like almost like a golf shot. When you hit a golf shot, get like a Tiger Woods, you get a golf ball to stop on the green, like on a dime.
Yeah, ultimately, and it's hard to do because you can't really control the spin when it hits the ground very much. And Brett's done a good job. Our other punter at the Titans, I don't know how he does it. I'm still going to work with him about it, but somehow he hits a flip flop punt and it'll hit and go like out of bounds. Like it shoots out whichever way he's going, which is
so you can do it both ways, right or left.
Yeah, he's definitely the type of guy that likes to go left on those type of punts. But yeah, when you get to the NFL, there's so many punts you can hit. I mean, you can hit a knuckleball, flip flop, regular turnover ball. I mean, I know the punter for the Baltimore Ravens has, I think he says he has 11 or 12 different punts in his bag that he can hit, which is insane to me. I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can hit 5 different punts that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, you know, because everybody, like when I was growing up and going to college and being a specialist, they always compare kicking to golf.
Yeah, it really is. Because it's like how many
like
clubs
you
you
talk
have
about
in your bag.
Yeah, so now
Short
you've got
field,
like
long
5, 6
field, you got a
different
driver,
punts.
you got your wedges, your irons. I mean, one of the balls I was talking about, like a knuckleball. I remember Brett telling me he tried to use that either a year or two ago on Tyreek Hill because he's one of the best returners in the NFL. And it's like, because it just goes up and it just kind of goes all over the place. Like you never know where it's going to go, so it messes with the returner. Because he doesn't want to return it, he's barely going to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to play with the returner, get in his head.
Yeah, you're not gonna be a very good golfer if you just play with a putter.
No, you're not going to get anywhere.
But when you're first starting out kicking, that's all you're trying to do is just get to where you can kick.
Oh yeah, when I was in high school, all I was trying to do was get the ball to turn over.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I focused on. If I get hit, I'm trying to think. I don't think I ever hit a flip flop or a pooch punt in high school. I'd hit just a turnover ball when I was on the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's just the thing. Because in high school, that's all that really matters. Or that's what I thought all that really mattered was being able to hit a turnover ball, which you have to be able to do. But as you progress from there to college to pro, I mean, you got to not only be extremely good at that, you got to be able to add another club to your bag and be good at that, add another club to your bag, be good at that, and you just got to keep growing.
But you got to start somewhere.
You do. I mean, I wouldn't change the way I progressed.
No, I think that's good because I think the progressions have taught you more instead of you having to stress out over all the progressions at one time.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I would be able to handle the punts that I can do now. I would not have been able to handle that when I was in high school.
Yeah, I think sometimes when people get started with stuff, they try to jump into too many things at one time and they ultimately screw themselves.
Oh yeah. Even my special teams coach at the Titans, Brett was hitting some crazy punts in practice one day, and I was, trying to mess with it in my hand, like how I was going to hold it and things like that. And he saw me and he like ran over to me and he goes, "I don't want to see you do that again." He goes, "I want you to just focus on what you do, focus on your punts that you already have." He's like, "I don't want to add another club to your bag right now." He's like, "We can just focus on this and perfect it, and we'll get you ready later."
Yeah, that's your competitor.
Oh yeah.
You're trying to take his job, and he's over there sitting there, being a professional and helping you.
Yeah.
Trying to help you be better.
Oh yeah.
And
But I mean,
I think that's the true definition of a professional. They're there for themselves. They're there to beat you, but if they're there to help you, it actually helps them.
yeah. I mean, I think.
Because
Brett's been in the NFL for 11 years, so he knows how the system works. I mean, he knows, there's turnover that's going to happen. He knows that he's a well-established Pro Bowl punter. So it's like, even if something happens, he's going to have a job. Like whether it's with the Titans, whether it's with the Vikings, whether it's with whoever. It doesn't really matter.
So he's comfortable. And if he was like a first-year guy or second-year guy, he probably wouldn't be helping you out as much, would he?
No. Yeah, I mean that's what they say. If you're early on, you don't really help out a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid. You just want to kind of keep your job.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool. I got to go watch Austin's practice at the Titans facility, and you set it up to where the strength coaches come to talk.
Yeah. They're great guys.
Yeah, and so that guy's been in the league for
20. I don't want to butcher this. I don't even know. 22, 23.
Yeah. I know he spent 10, 11 years with one team. Now he's been Titans for.
He was with Philly for a long time with when Brian Dawkins was there, and then he was with the Minnesota Vikings for a long time, and then he's been with the Titans. I think this is like his 4th or 5th year with the Titans. And then his 2 assistants. The one guy was with the Texans for 3 years, and the other guy was with I don't even know, but he was in the
Yeah,
NFL.
I don't have a track record, but and I was asking him about the process of how to get to the NFL as a strength coach, and he's kind of laid it out. He says a lot different then than it is now, but that's another guy that's been in the ranks trying to help someone else.
Oh yeah, I mean, he just knows that what you can do for other people. Ultimately, not that your mindset is to help yourself out, but like ultimately, it's going to help you out too.
Yeah, like some of these kids in here, like when you first got here, Al jumped you.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You don't have to talk about that.
but I tell everybody, my job as a strength coach is to make people better than I am. You got to where you could out jump me.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I still
haven't outbenched you.
No, well, you probably could after my surgery, about a week after surgery.
Yeah.
But the strength coach, what did he say about you when you got there? I mean, he was pretty impressed with you.
He was shocked because I walked in. I mean, I was not. I'm trying to think what I weighed when I walked in. I was probably 207. That's 6'3". I mean, that's pretty small for the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I remember him looking at me, and I don't think he thought a lot of me as far as strength-wise. And then we would start benching or squatting, or they have some of like the machines in our indoor facility. And I mean, I was like doing the weight that he was asking me to do very easily, and he could tell that. So he kept going up and up. And I mean, he was just shocked. He's like, man, I can't believe you can do this. And he would even tell. I think he told you that.
Yeah, he
told you I was like this. The hardest working, or most shockingly strong rookie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he said, man, when Austin got here, I said, you do this? He goes, yeah, you did everything he asked. And he couldn't believe some of the stuff you do. He said sometimes with kickers, when they're getting to the NFL, they usually have their own routine. They want to mess with the bands, or they kind of want to do what they've been doing, and you were really open to doing whatever.
Yeah. And
I think he was pretty impressed with that. You were stronger than were you stronger than some of the linebackers or the running backs?
I wouldn't go that far. I was stronger than some of the receivers.
Yeah, hey, I just looked on a video the other day, and I saw Jamison Vest, the kicker for Toledo. He was a 375 bencher in high school.
Yeah, I remember when he was here, and he was so strong. Made me look bad.
But we were trying to, you knew this career path was pretty much going to happen your senior year before your last year at Stanford, right? Because we started trying to do some combine prep then.
Yeah, I would say, I played a fifth year at Stanford.
Yeah.
So my senior year academically, which I guess you could say is my redshirt junior year, that's when I kind of was like, I have a good shot at this. Because after that year, I think I was second team All-SoCon. I had a pretty decent average. All the top guys in the country I went to camps with and competed with, and was like just as good. So I really, at that point, I knew I had a shot. Mm-hmm. But the hard part is not only having a shot, but taking that step of actually making it.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to get your foot in the door is pretty hard sometimes.
Yeah, especially when you're coming from a
small school.
Yeah, smaller school. Because Mike Hinderman's he had a late start with trying to get an agent, mm-hmm. and he's coming from an FCS school too as an offensive lineman. And I was talking to someone about this the other day, is that if you have an FCS starting lineman, because Mike started for Liberty, yeah, but the backup for Alabama will sometimes get the job just because they're at that higher end FBS school.
Yeah, I could say that happens. I would say that happens more for position players than a specialist.
Yeah, because
numbers really talk in our world.
What do you think the Titans cared about the most as far as numbers? Just being precise where you hit the ball? Do you think they cared about hang time? They cared about hang time?
Hang time, distance, location. I remember when I first signed with my agent, we made a little like a short film, kind of like highlight film, but it was kind of, his words, was like just a I think what you said, like wet their mouth or something like that. Basically just help them watch the video and show that, hey, this kid can do this. So I pretty much put like 5 punts going right, 5 punts going left, a couple of like specialty punts, and some kickoffs. And it was just to show like, hey, this kid has proven himself in a game. He can hit one of my punts was a 47-4-9 right on the out of bounds line at UGA when we played. Yeah. So it was like,
so you performed well in front of a big school too.
Exactly. And you're hitting really good punts, and I'm saying like this isn't just mean, hitting a 47.49 alone is hard,
Yeah.
but this thing was like right on the out of bounds line. So I think it was like a combination of my film. Then they came and worked me out, and they were charting my distance, hang time, and location. So the combination of that and my film, and then on top of that, they went through and talked to every single one of my, or maybe not every single one, but they talked to my head coach, my special teams coach, my strength coach from Stanford.
Trying to figure out your personality and your work ethic.
Yeah, I mean, no, they're not going to invest $500,000 if you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I felt like I kept my head on my shoulders when I was in college, so
Yeah,
that wasn't
you
a
stayed out
problem.
of trouble. Yeah, I guess most specialists are pretty level-headed anyway, right?
A lot of times, some of the guys are kind of crazy, or a little bit of mental. You know, if you hit a bad ball, you're going to freak out and not be able to do anything the rest of the game. I've seen that before.
What do you think helped with your mental toughness?
Well, I can say, to be honest with you, a lot of it has to do with like you and Chris. Because I remember when I first started coming to the gym with you, you would like freaking hurt your pec or something like that, and you'd still be going. You'd like fighting through. I'm just like,
Yeah, I don't let anything like if my back hurts, I still squat.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, if I've got an ailment or something going on like that, I do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to someone like this girl's wrist was hurting and she was still bitching, but she had tears in her eyes while she was bitching, and that's my type of mentality. Just like I was talking about Katie Sowers, but sometimes that's good, but sometimes it's bad. You know, she was crying while she was squatting.
Yeah.
You know, but just because you're hurt don't mean you can't do it. Now, if you're injured, you can't.
Well, yeah, and you kind of got to weigh what your situation is. I mean, if I'm in the NFL and I'm trying to keep my job,
Yeah, that's what
I'm going to do what I can to make sure I can play.
Yeah, that's what we talked about this summer. You know, we at the level you are now, we can't always grind and push. You know, if your elbow's inflamed or your knees inflamed, because if you do encounter something bad, then your career's screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we just have to be more strategic about it. But when you're in high school and college, that's the time to take the opportunity to change the body as much as you can.
Yeah, you can push it. I mean, even if I get hurt, not that I don't think I ever got really hurt when I was here, but I mean, you can push it. I mean, I'm sure my tricep got inflamed a couple of times, and you know, whatever, you just fight through and keep going.
Yeah, and we've changed things based off of what we needed to change. Like if your back is hurting, we changed what you're doing for your squat.
Yeah,
But
I
you-
remember I did have a bad back a couple of times.
But you would still squat.
Yeah.
But you didn't necessarily squat the specific, maybe a box squat, or I guess sometimes when your back was hurting, we'd go to a front squat.
Yeah, or we do, I don't remember whether we did some core work or some glute ham raises or something like that, maybe to strengthen the back individually,
Yeah.
and focus around that.
Yeah, so we'd always, but just because something's bothering you, never quit.
No, you can't. I mean, you're not gonna, I wouldn't be where I am today if I quit, if I got,
Yeah, you got a hurt finger. You got a hurt finger, so you'll catch a punt.
yeah.
Good luck with that job.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's where you can pop some Advil if you have to, but
Yeah, and so a lot of those guys are playing with pain like that too.
all the time. And I can guarantee, there's no way guys even are that healthy when they're playing. I mean, everybody's got a nick or a bruise or sprain or whatever.
You're not doing it for health reasons either. You're not in the NFL to be healthy.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why they pay you so much, right?
You're there to do a job, and because that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're there to perform.
Yeah.
You're not there to.
You know, like
Be
these
hurt.
bodybuilders and things like that. They're big. It's not the most healthy thing, but that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot. Let's go back to this first punt at Green Bay. You know, you had a really good game that game, right?
I did.
Your first punt. I mean, I remember listening to it. I think you even sent it to me on my phone. I don't even know where my phone's at. But the commentator said, "Well, this is they're trying to use you as a camp leg,"
Yeah.
and then you bombed it, and it went out exactly where it needed to go. And they said, "Man, if he keeps this up, he's gonna." That was pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
that
well,
was on national TV.
It definitely shocked the commentators. But yeah, I think it was like a 52-yard punt, went out on the 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really could not have gone any better, especially for my first punt in the NFL. But I mean, I can say it helped to our kicker at the time when they hits kickoffs did not want to kick off that game, so I started hitting kickoffs. So I'd already hit kickoffs earlier that game.
Kind of broke the ice a little bit. Kind of let you get
Yeah.
shed some of the nerves.
Yeah, a little bit. It helped. So I had already been on the field, but that was my first punt. And my kickoffs went really well that game. And then I hit that huge punt. I felt really good. I ended up hitting another flip-flop punt, which wasn't great. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things where I hit it and I learned from it. But I mean, it still wasn't terrible. It was inside the 20.
Once you make a mistake, you know, you got to correct it.
Yeah, you can't dwell on it, but you got to just correct it and move on.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that's gonna, especially not during a game. I mean, if you're in the middle of a game, I'm not sitting there focusing on it.
Yeah.
You got to just go out there, hit the punt. It's good. If it's good, keep going. If it's bad, keep going.
Who y'all play your second game?
Tampa Bay. That's right, Tampa Bay.
That was the first home game, right?
They came to us, yeah. And they actually came 3 days early and practiced with us, which was pretty cool.
How's it interacting with other guys from other teams?
It's awesome. I mean, everybody's down to earth because everybody's in the same position. I mean, you're all there to do a job. You're all there taking care of your family. You're all there playing a sport. I mean, you're literally getting paid to play a sport. Your life couldn't be any better. Yeah. But I mean, everybody's great. I mean, I had a conversation with Brian Anger and Christian Catanzaro, and their long snapper. I mean, they were great guys. I mean, I was even asking Brian Anger questions about punting, and I mean, he was open with me.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of just a respect once you get to that level.
Yeah, because they know you're not some turd off the street trying to.
Yeah, I'm just not like some random person that.
Yeah, like sometimes, like if you call Louis at Westside Barbell and you just ask him a stupid fitness question, he's probably gonna cuss you out and hang up the phone. You know, because you guys, y'all don't want to hear that crap. You know, no. but you do want to help each other. You know, like that's what I thought when Hanson. Were you at that camp that Hanson put on when it was at East Coweta?
Yeah, I went to that, and Zoltan Mesko and Graham Gano, there's a couple guys over there.
Yeah, and you had Kostowski came down for that.
Yeah.
But they were all, what I thought was really cool is all the kickers at that camp, once everybody was kind of on break, the kickers would go over there and they would talk about different kicks, how they attack different situations. Mm-hmm. And they were just openly sharing information. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they do it all the time. I mean, once you're at that level, it's kind of just sharing knowledge. Because, I mean, there's nothing really to hide. You know, once you're there, everything you do is on film. Yeah. So everybody can watch it anyway if you don't want to talk about it. And then on top of that, I mean, you're expected to be at the highest level and perform at the highest level. And if you're not, you're going to be replaced regardless of what you share or don't share. Yeah. So there's really no point in hiding anything. You know, it's kind of just mutual respect.
Yeah. That's pretty cool because I don't think a lot of people even realize that goes on.
Yeah. I don't think I did really. Until Les was kind of going through the process and I talked to him a little bit and, you know, we worked together a little bit. I mean, we worked out together when he was here. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know, it's kind of just a mutual understanding.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, if Jameson makes it all the way, you, Jameson, Les, 3 kickers.
I know, you're the specialist in the NFL.
That's crazy.
It is.
You know, there's, you started when you was a sophomore. I think I've had 6 people now that have started with me in high school that are now professional.
Football or just in general?
Just in general, volleyball, basketball, and 4 professional athletes. Mike Hilton just trained here too.
That's right.
And
so
you got you, Mike. Well, Will didn't train me in high school. I don't know if he ever came to me in high school. I talked to his dad while he was with Will's in high school. I think Will started when he was college at Georgia State. He came in. We started doing the dumbbell jumps with Will, and that's when I think he had a pathetic vertical. I think it was like your starting vertical 25.
Yeah, that wasn't pathetic.
It's pretty bad. He had a 20, but I think his vertical quickly grew to 32, 33. I don't know if he ever got to 34 or not.
What?
Yeah.
He could jump.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Yeah, and then I think once his jump started going up, his distance increased almost 10, 15 yards. I mean, it was a dramatic increase in power because you got to have knee extension. You kicking swing legs, your legs extend almost the same as you would jump, your hips, your knees, and
yeah,
and your
ankles. Just driving through, especially like I'm trying to think when he was kicking. It's a little different for punting. I guess I would say for punting, when your plant leg is going through the exact same motion. Yeah. I mean, I'm planting on my plant foot, my knee is bent, and I'm like exploding through. Yeah. And coming up and taking my body through. It's literally the exact same thing.
And so jumping just increases your rate of force development as far as You still squatted. You're a kicker and you squat.
Yeah, I still squat today.
You think the squatting's helped you a lot?
I think so, as long as I can continue to, like, I don't know, stay healthy.
Yeah, but I think we're squatting now, like when people's at the gym, I'm really pushing to get them from go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things for you this past summer when you were in the league. And Austin, we can't push. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not like the typical explosive mentality. You're either gonna do it or you're gonna die. But we had to be a lot more. I think now it's more important that you do it instead of skip it.
Yes.
But you can't push either. Sometimes you can push, but
you can push. You just gotta. Like especially now. If you're pushing, you gotta be very hesitant. And when I say hesitant, it's not like I'm
like if you got an ailment in your back, like normally in high school and college, we'd still push.
Yeah, you'd fight through anything.
Yeah, but now you gotta. The fear of getting hurt with doing something kind of sets in your mind because then your job's in jeopardy, right?
Yeah. If I start feeling anything, I'm kind of maybe we can move on from this or something like that. But I just remember when I was in college and we were training for like, I don't remember if that was like pro day or just training for the next season. We focused my squatter on like fast switch because of kind of the movements I make.
Yeah.
So we were doing box squats, and I was like, how fast can you explode through the...
Did we use the Tendo unit with you?
Yeah. We did that. I think we did that every single time for like a year or two.
Because that's the biggest thing is speed. I hate when people come in and squat just to squat.
I know.
You know, you've got a number to beat, whether you get your rep or you get your rep at a certain rate of speed. Like I was really getting on with someone the other day. They were squatting, they didn't care about, they weren't focused on the number. Like they were getting a 0.6, I want you to, and if you got 4 reps, I want you to get 4 6s.
Yeah.
They'll get a 6, a 5, 6, a 4. The inconsistent. You know, the body's gonna learn your averages, so if you take a 6 and a 4, your average is 5. When I want you to try to average 6 as far as your rate of speed.
Yeah, what I found when I was doing it though is the numbers help push me. You know, if I'm not gonna have somebody sitting over my shoulder yelling at me, not that I really like that, but I mean, if I'm looking at a number and I'm like, hey, I got a 6.2, to me, my next one should be a 6.3.
Yeah. And
the next one should be a 6.4. And I'm like, I want to be able to like go as fast as I can. Because if you're just going slower and slower every time, I mean, you're going to possibly get slower because you're getting a little bit more exhausted. But I mean, it's kind of just mentally like, hey, I need to be able to do this faster.
I think that the Tendo unit for us is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because I sit in front of you, but I'm always, hey Austin, I want you to try. I usually set a number in y'all's head.
Yeah, you always
you're
pretty accurate for the most part.
And as far as getting a jump number, speed number, or if you're going to bench set to 5, if you're going to do maybe 4 sets of 5, you'll go a 5, a 4, a 4, and maybe a 3. And sometimes, or depending on where we are in our training cycle, I'll pretty much call out your numbers before you do it. And I'll try to, but what I do is I try to get y'all to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like
which happened a couple times, and then you just go up and wait if you wanted to be at a certain speed or whatnot.
Yeah, and so we got shirts to prove them wrong. I want people, if you can prove me wrong with the numbers I give you or what I want you to do, Austin, I need you to get 6s and you end up getting 7s. You're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, for the record, that's very hard to do.
Yeah, I guess most people.
He always pushes too far. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to Katie Sowers' podcast, but when she came in the gym, because she was one of the first females I had that jump a 30-inch vertical.
Oh no, she's a beast.
And she came in, and I said, Katie, I need you to jump before we get this podcast started.
What'd she jump?
25. And that was a 30. This was when she was in high school, because when she got to college, her numbers went down.
Yeah. Mine did too.
Yeah, your numbers went down too. Yeah. And we talked with Lasky. Lasky's numbers went down.
I would say it's normal.
I was talking to James Skowski. James, would you ever work out with him? He's a linebacker for Clemson, number 47.
No, you told me about him, but I've never worked out with him.
He started with me when he was in 6th grade. He's got a shot at the league. So Jameis and Skowski could be the first 2 middle schoolers that started with me in middle school and make it all the way. That's pretty sick.
That's pretty sweet.
You know,
pretty good that you started with middle school. I've never seen him.
Yeah, that's he sent me a text message one time, and he goes, Jared, do you remember you tell me that when I get to college, my numbers are going to go down?
They did.
He goes, well, you're pretty much right.
Yeah.
But it's because I've seen it. You know, I played college football, and daggone, I mean, I've had a lot of kids in here that's gone out to play college football, and it's not like I'm just pulling this out my butt. I know, I've seen it, I've experienced it, and
Everybody goes through it. It's just different. Like when you're here, you know, you kind of focus on numbers and pushing, you know, your bench, your squat, your 40, your vertical, your broad jump. Kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to call it all the deliverables. And when you're in college, your strength program is focused around, like, I'm going to call it stamina based. Like I want you to be able to last through a season at 95% and be able to maintain that all season. Like we're not going to push you to, you know, be benching whatever 315 or jumping a 40-inch vertical. We just want to kind of maintain you so you don't get hurt, so you feel good throughout the season, so you can continue to hit guys at the same velocity at the first week as the last week. So I mean, just kind of shoot your numbers down.
yeah, because they're not concerned. They're concerned with more keeping you healthy instead of pushing you.
Yes, especially that's the
You know, because if I was at the collegiate level, I'd probably have to be more aware of what I'm doing at that point too, because I get a couple people hurt, I'd be fired.
Yeah.
Well, if I get you hurt here, you just quit.
But I get insurance.
Hey, yeah, but I do push though, don't I? I do expect to get it.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a couple times, especially when I was early on, you were pushing so hard. I was like, "There's no way I can get this," and then I'd do it, and I'd actually get it.
Yeah, this
Like,
kid.
I don't even know how.
This kid came in the other day, and I said, he goes, "Dave's bench strength." I said, "Not for you." He goes, "Come on, Jared." I said, "No." He tried so hard to get out of it, and he had 5 sets of 5 with squat. That's a bitch.
You're not kidding.
And he goes, "Come on, Jared." I said, "No." And I grabbed the tendo unit. He said, "No, you're gonna have to put that thing back." I said, "No, because you're gonna get all your reps, and you're gonna beat your speeds from last time." And he said, "Come on." And he said, "Well, I'm gonna play my music." I said, "I don't care what you do, but you are gonna squat." And
Just needs a little kick in the butt.
yeah, I said, he did it, and he made them all. He beat his speed numbers. When he got finished with that last set of 5, he was exhausted. I mean, you could just tell his body was just drained. And I said, "How does it feel to do something that you thought you couldn't do?" "Screw you, Jared," and he left.
That's how I felt sometimes.
But that's what it takes, you know. Oh, speaking of the guy who wanted to quit 5 sets of 5 the other day, he just walked in the door. Hey,
Good timing.
what time is it too? Oh, he's only about 45 minutes late, or is he the 15 minutes early?
I'm coming for the 11 o'clock, like I said yesterday.
Comes in flip flops too.
Oh, he's got slides on?
Yeah.
Does he have a sticker?
I don't know, but I
I do a combo day today.
I thought you was coming to visit me on Thanksgiving.
Huh?
I thought you was coming to visit me
Jared,
on
why do
Thanksgiving.
you want me to come on Thanksgiving so bad?
Because I want you to squat on Thanksgiving Day. Happy Turkey Day.
It's only 250, 3 sets of 4. I mean, 3 sets of 3.
2 sets of 3 maybe.
2 sets of 3. Yeah.
Maybe, hey, we may try 260. You know, you always want to try 275, but you look like got stapled to that box a couple of times.
I'm the fastest person here, Jared, hands down. So.
Hey, look, this weenie right here. He went to a speed place for a year. Stayed the same running speed.
That wasn't my idea.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Go ahead and put their name in there, Jared.
I ain't gonna throw the name on there, but anyway.
Put it Adam.
Hey, now, you started off at a 5'3", and now you're at a 4'7". You're gonna hit a 4'6" just because I made you squat the other day when you didn't want to.
Jared, I'm gonna hit a 4-4.
A 4'4"?
Yeah.
Hey, but no, it's a process, and people gotta learn how to push when they don't want to. Hey, how'd it feel when you did something you thought you couldn't do the other day?
I didn't think I couldn't do it. I just didn't want to do it.
Oh, good thing you had good old Jared here to help you out.
Yeah, Jared. There is no such thing as I can't do. I can do everything. Just if I was.
The only,
Good
hey,
confidence.
hey, you know what the bad thing is after I make someone strong and fast, they become extremely cocky.
I've always been cocky, Jared.
Hey, what about my thought process? Am I kind of crazy?
Are you crazy?
Maybe just a little bit annoying.
annoying. Hey, all I'm trying to do is get my numbers, right?
Yeah, we're getting them numbers.
They're getting those numbers.
3 months, man.
But is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Can't think of anything.
No.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we've talked, geez, a lot longer than you thought we would. Yeah, it's only been an hour and 15 minutes, not bad. So, anyway, well, thanks everybody for listening to the Explosive Strength Podcast with Joe Bidney. Glad to have Austin come on for a little while.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, do you have Twitter? You keep up with that? You want anybody to follow you, or you just want to stay? Hey, you got your blue check.
I do have my blue check on Twitter. I'm actually verified now.
He is the man.
I'm verified with over 200 followers. But yeah, I'm trying to put my name. Barnyard47. You should follow me.
Yeah. What about Instagram?
Instagram is AustinB47.
Austin B47.
I have more followers on Instagram, just so you know. But I
That's
post
good.
more on Instagram too.
That's because it's so good looking, right?
That's probably true. And my girlfriend's good looking.
That helps a lot, right?
That was a ton.
Hey, he went from 3 followers to 9,000 followers just because he posted a picture of his girlfriend.
Yeah, all my followers because of her.
You got to keep her around.
You're not kidding.
Anyway, y'all can, if you would, you can email me if you have questions at info@Explosive Mechanics. You can follow me on Twitter at Explosive MEC, Instagram at Explosive Mechanics. I did notice the other day on my Instagram, I get sometimes my notifications will pop up and it's got 13 unread messages, but my little indicator saying I got a message.
Yeah.
But then you got to read the line above, and I'm not very good at reading.
Yeah. So they don't follow you, probably.
Or I don't follow back. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't do that on purpose. I just don't pay attention to it. Like my wife gets to me.
Yeah, cut him some slack. He's old.
Hey, you see, I don't have any hands because of turds like y'all when y'all were little.
Shoot, that wasn't me. That was Colton and Cody.
Oh boy. So anyway, yep. Follow us on social media and like and share, please. So anyway, thanks for watching and listening. Have a good day. That's pretty good, huh? A lot longer than you thought it was gonna be, huh?
Yeah, that was good though.
Covered a lot of material.